Whatever you say, cat lady.
Dexter shall gnaw your bones.
Begin.
Fight, unlock, customize, repeat. That's the formula at play in NetherRealm Studios' Injustice 2, a sequel to 2013's DC Comics-based fighting game Injustice: Gods Among Us. Like its predecessor, Injustice 2 is a what-if-style fighting game that pits DC's greatest titans from across the multiverse against each other during the events leading up to a world-ending disaster. That's if you play the story mode anyway, and you'll most certainly want to. Injustice 2's events pick up shortly after the ending of 2013's Gods Among Us. Superman is still lamenting his loss, Batman has been working to keep the world in order, and Green Arrow remains ever at the ready for some well-timed quips when the going gets rough.
We'll speak of the devil.
Speak, and he shall appear.
And get shot in the face.
Begin.
New this time out is Supergirl's plight as she struggles to deal with the world-ending doom in the face of a family reunion that hasn't played out quite like she expected. To say too much more would be to spoil the somewhat paint-by-numbers narrative that follows, but rest assured, while you may be able to guess what happens next, you're gonna have more fun watching the world's finest throw down and investigate as a team here in this video game than you've ever had from watching these same DC superheroes on Hollywood's silver screen. Once you finish tackling multiplayer mode, Injustice 2 offers up a bevy of alternate modes and content for both single players and multiplayer consumers alike. Single players can spend their time in tutorial, practice mode, or even 1v1 matches against the computer to hone their skills, and once players are satisfied with their progress, they can move on to online or the multiverse mode. Multiverse mode is where you'll be able to find fighting game standbys such as arcade, endless, and survival, but it also offers up optional timed encounters across various planets which introduce modifiers into battle and help keep things both challenging and fresh. The whole time you're playing any of these game modes, you're actually being rewarded with experience, currency, and sometimes even loot drops that help you deck out and customize the game's roster of playable characters. The rate at which you earn these items and level up your character really works to give you a strong sense of ownership over the game's available cast of fighters. There's a very encouraging sense of progress at play, so whether you're playing old favorites such as Catwoman, Batman, or The Flash, or even newcomers such as Blue Beetle or Captain Cold, you're motivated to keep the fight going and chase after that next dangling carrot. I am a big fan of how this reward system has been implemented, and it's this well-executed style of progression that keeps me coming back again and again.
Grandson of Ra's al Ghul,
You say that like it's a bad thing.
demons must be slain.
Now let's talk about the game's combat. Move inputs are largely the same as we saw back in 2013. Every character has a basic light and medium attack, as well as a directionally chargeable heavy attack mapped to 3 of the 4 face buttons on a standard controller. As we saw introduced with Gods Among Us, the circle button on PS4 or the B button on Xbox One have been reserved for a one-touch character-specific special ability. This could include anything from teleporting with Robin to firing specialized arrows with Green Arrow, or even individually summoning an assist from Harley Quinn's hyenas Bud and Lou. Master those basics and you're ready to start throwing in some shoulder button inputs for good measure. Pressing R2 or right trigger at the correct time will allow you to burn some of your buildable combo meter to either dash through your opponent, enhance an offensive move, or challenge your opponent to a brief cinematic wager minigame called a clash. Be warned though, while clashes have the potential to damage your opponent, they also have the potential to replenish your opponent's health, so you'll want to pick your usages carefully. Lastly, the grand cinematic super moves have returned this year. You can easily complete these devastating attacks by hitting both of the lower shoulder buttons in the midst of battle after the appropriate amount of meter has been earned, and then be treated to a cinematic attack that often dazzles as much as it damages your opponent. All of the super move animations have been completely redone in Injustice 2, and while I'm sad to see Aquaman's School of Sharks disappear from the super move he used in Gods Among Us, he's found a suitable replacement this year with whatever that fish-whale hybrid thing is supposed to be. And while I may never get to see Batman run over an opponent with the Batmobile again, I'm settling nicely into the '89 Batman-styled Batwing Moon homage as he blasts his opponent on the way down.
It's not funny, is it?
Along with all of these changes to combat, Injustice 2 still features the hallmark interactive stage environments from its predecessor. Hitting R1 or right bumper when prompted will allow your fighter to throw or vault off a specific object placed in the background. Get your foe backed into a corner, and some stages will even allow you to strike your opponent with a charged heavy attack and send them flying to a completely different adjacent stage in a mid-match cutscene that deals a generous amount of damage along the way. Utilizing these object and stage transition opportunities might seem like a cheap tactic to fighting game snobs, but it's designs like these that keep the match engaging and accessible for more novice players, while adding a bit of an instant equalizer mechanic for more seasoned ones. Never fear though, if you don't like it, you can just turn them off altogether. But doing so really robs the Injustice series of some of its unique charm.
Vengeance upon us.
Injustice 2 is a game that has the goods. At launch, we already know as many as 9 more characters are on the way via DLC, but honestly, you won't be missing the extra content. Between a robust story mode, incredibly stable online matches, standard fighting game modes, as well as a wealth of match options available in multiverse mode, you're not going to run out of things to do or fighters to try out. Add in a fantastically realized progression system with leveling, unlocks, and character customization, and you've got a rewarding formula that begs you to return time and again. And as a genuine comic book reader, I can't get enough of the plentiful character-specific dialogue between heroes and villains that I've read for years.
I don't fear you.
Injustice 2 has raised the bar, plain and simple. Tekken 7 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite have their work cut out for them. Hopefully their respective developers have time to make some changes and add similar levels of depth and content to their own games if it's not too late. But at this point, if you can only buy one fighting game this year, let it be Injustice 2, and don't feel bad about paying full price. The game deserves it, and developers need to understand this is the type of content that makes us happy. Thanks for stopping by, fighting fans. I'll see you guys next time.